it got to the point where I didn't care what was going on out there. I just wanted to watch pro wrestling. And as the years went on, I did have a scholarship to play football, and I passed it up because my love for pro wrestling was crazy. And I only liked the physical aspect of playing football. I didn't really like it to go forward and play college or even possibly the NFL.
Right.
Didn't think about that, but I wanted to go to WWE. I wanted to go to a major, WCW or at the time NWA, and be world's champion or what have you. I wanted to do that, but I never saw myself like that with football. So I passed it up. And of course, both of my parents being reverends, when I told them I wasn't taking that scholarship, it was not good. I was called every name but my name.
Well, you get a scholarship to get out of the projects. Yeah. You got two good parents in the house, right? And then all of a sudden, no, Mom and Dad, I don't want to do that.
It sounds eerily familiar. There's somebody, I can't think of the guy's name.
Mean Mark Calaway, I think, is what
I was just thinking, you passed up a full ride scholarship?
Before you say anything, you've got to check yourself on that one, I
was like, listen, I thought the exorcism was going to be done right there in the house. I mean, it was bad. I had to move out and everything, and then I called Johnny Rodz. He was at Gleason's Gym in Brooklyn. I called him and told him that, wanted to become a pro wrestler. I was working as a manager at a department store called KB's Toy Store.
KB's Toy Store. I remember that. Yeah.
And it was opposite, of course, of Toys R Us. That was their competitor. And I was a manager there. So I called Johnny. Johnny goes, yeah, brother, I come down and maybe I come visit you. You come help Johnny out, I get Christmas stuff for the kiddos, You give me a big discount.
Sounds like a wrestler.
That's a wrestling story if I ever heard one.
And I didn't know anything. I didn't know that's how the old timers do things.
Oh, gosh.
So I was like, yeah, Johnny, come on down. Now I'm all excited because I'm like, yeah, this is my opportunity to become a pro wrestler. I'm going to wrestling school. This is going to be great. And he comes down. The day he comes down, my district manager is there.
Oh, no.
And with another lady, I forget what position she held, but all the bigwigs are there now. Now Johnny comes in. When I tell you he had 3 shopping carts of toys, he brings them up to the counter.
For his own kids, I'm sure, right?
So I'm sitting up there ringing stuff in. I'm half ringing them in, half not doing that. And they're watching me do this. The district manager, all of them watching me do this. So by the time the bill comes, the manager sees that in the back. He sees that, he starts rushing up to the front because now he wants to see what the bill is.
Right.
Because he knows that I know Johnny, and he knows that possibly something's not right. So when he saw the bill, it was it should have been almost $1,500, almost $2,000. I think it came to $500. He went, whoa.
Wait a minute here, brother.
So he started doing that. Needless to say, I got fired that day.
Yeah, I can see that. So, yeah.
And so Johnny Rodz goes, I remember telling him, I was like, sorry, Johnny. He was like, not a problem. I just got to pay all of this money. That's okay. I said, well, if it helps any, I got fired. He goes, oh, sorry, but all the money I spent.
That is so old school, man. That is so,
It was great.
That's so great. That is how it was, man.
Yeah,
that is how it was.
And then I went home, licked my wounds and all that, got a job working at the post office. So the post office actually helped me to go to Johnny's school to pay for it. And I was doing that for 5.5 years.
Really?
Working at the post office. Yeah, I was working at the post office. I went from carrying the mail to mail handler down in the basement, and then went to a clerk.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, so I did all of that, and then basically paid for my wrestling school. And then the next thing you know, I got the phone. Johnny saw me. I was having some personal problems, some personal issues with my personal life, and I took some time off. Mm-hmm. It even got to the point where I said, I'm not going to do this. It's a dream, and I should have never, decided to do that. I should have taken a scholarship. And I remember just holding my sons in my hand one day, the twins, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back. This is after a couple of months. I said, I'm going to go back. I said, I'm going to make you proud of me. And I put them down, called Johnny. I said, I'm coming back to the school. I went back, and next thing you know, my head is focused. I'm focused. I'm just going. And he came out of the office. He goes, what the hell got into you? And I said, well, what do you mean? He was like, you flipping and flying and going, doing all of this stuff. I was like, I told you I'm ready to go back, ready to come back. And he says, okay. He was like, well, let me ask you a question. I trained Tommy Dreamer and Taz. and Alex, which is Big Dick Dudley. And I was like, yeah. He goes, you know, they work for that organization called ECW. Now, I heard of ECW, and I even saw a little bit of it. But me personally, I was scared to death of it.
Well,
Because it wasn't the wrestling that I was used to seeing.
Yeah.
And, you know, anybody that takes a barbed wire bat and hits somebody with it, and you take thumbtacks and sprinkle it on the table, and you throw somebody, you know, in it, and then you got somebody with a stick with fire over it. I was like, what the hell? That's not wrestling. That's barbaric. You know, it's like the UFC when they first started.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and I basically was like, yeah, I heard of ECW. Yeah, he's like, yeah. I was like, what do you think about going there? And you know when you can have that 5-minute conversation in your head that only takes 2 seconds? And that's exactly what happened to me. I was like, yeah. I think I'd love to go.
Yep,
I'd love to go. He's like, good, let me make the phone call to Taz. He calls Taz. He goes, yeah, I got this kid that will blow everybody up down there. He's just that good. He'll do this and do that, blah, blah, blah. So Taz goes, sit him down. Paulie's looking for a Dudley. Looking for a Rastafarian Dudley. And I was like, oh boy. So when Johnny told me that, I said, well, you know, the hair on top of my head is thinning. So I don't know if I can grow dreadlocks. So I don't know about the Rastafarian. He goes, well, just talk to Taz. He'll work with you. So when I got down there, I was like, you know, Taz, how you doing? My name is Devon, because my real name is Devon, but the wrestling name is Devon. So I was like, how you doing? Nice meeting you. And he goes, hey, nice meeting you. He's like, oh, so you're the kid. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, Johnny told me you blow everybody up here. Now, I got Perry Saturn looking at me as he's saying it and just salivating at the mouth. And I just went, I don't know why Johnny told you that. You know, because I'm thinking, you know, these people are barbaric. What the hell? Why are you setting me up for failure?
Yeah.
You know, you're telling these people that I'm going to blow everybody up. And then back then in the wrestling business, if you told somebody that, even if it wasn't you that was telling that,
they're going to test you.
They're going to test you.
Yeah.
And when I had the tryout, I had the tryout with Perry Saturn. And you know Perry. I love Perry to death. I had the tryout with Perry Saturn, and we started doing different things. Taz is watching, Dreamer's watching, and long and behold, in the corner, in the back, is a young Bubba Ray Dudley. Watching in the back, just as humble as can be. Not the Bubba you're used to seeing right now.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Exactly. He's sitting up there, standing there, watching, hands crossed, everything. Not the same Bubba that you know today. And I always tease him about that. He's like, shut up, Devon. But we do a couple of spots. Taz is calling everything out. We're just doing it. And right then, I'm just like ready to go. I'm fit. I'm ready to go. And we got done with it, and Perry's on one knee. He's kneeling down, and Taz looks at him and goes, what do you think? And Perry's like, yeah, the kid can go.
Wow.
The kid can go. And, you know, Perry Saturn was a badass, legit badass, you know, ex-Green Beret, everything. So, and you couldn't blow him up, but apparently it happened that day. So if Perry sees this, sorry, Perry, I had to tell that story.
Wow.
And we had witnesses.
Wow. All right.
No, but, you know, Perry did great for me. He helped me out in the whole nine. And I remember doing that. And after that was over, I remember going back to my seat, you know, just sitting down waiting to see what they were going to say. And I was like, damn, I blew up Perry Saturn. I was like, damn.
Yeah, that's a to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you
So I
say
was like,
something stupid, and then the next thing you know, you're getting
you
a
freaking
forearm across your bridge of your nose.
Exactly.
Yep.
But I kept that to myself. I was like, damn. I was like, this is great. I'm feeling great. And of course, Perry made me pay for it later on in the years of ECW.
Oh yeah. That's the,
Yeah, he got me. It wasn't, listen, it didn't just go good night after that was over. I paid for it later.
Yeah.
But it was, you know, Perry really did help me and helped me out a lot. And that was basically how everything really got started. It was basically going through Johnny Rodz and then going from Johnny to ECW and then from ECW to WWE.
So they put you and Bubba together right away?
Yes.
Yeah.
But first we were feuding with each other. We were going at it.
Right.
And we basically, you know, because the Dudley gimmick was made to be a joke. It was never made to be serious. I was apparently from the south side of Dudleyville.
Right.
You know, that was Paulie's thing, from the south side of Dudleyville, and I didn't want Bubba stuttering or dancing anymore, and I'm going to write the Dudleys and make the Dudley name strong. And so I'm beating up Bubba, I'm beating up all the other Dudleys as well, because they're not listening, they're not taking this seriously. This family is not a joke. And finally, we're going at it. We didn't touch, like I'm just beating him up and leaving the ring, beating him up, leaving the ring. Finally, he gets his hands on me, and then that's when the feud starts. Then the feud starts, and everything was good. I mean, we were rocking and rolling, and it was hard to actually get over in the ECW arena in front of that crowd. That was probably one of the hardest crowds I think I'd ever worked in front of, because they were just bloodthirsty. They didn't care. They let you know when you messed up. And we were both young, but we were hungry, and we were willing to go out there and just literally beat the crap out of each other. We said sorry in the back before we went out there. It was never something where we complained about it when we got to the back after everything was said and done. We knew what we had to do to get out there and to make, what we were doing legit for those fans to like us.
And didn't have any problem bringing that attitude to WWF when they got there.
One story, I'm glad he said this. We're in Vegas at a pay-per-view. It's the Dudleys versus Taker and Kane versus the Hardys versus Edge and Christian.
Yep.
And somehow we went way over in time. I remember that. That was one thing. But somebody hit somebody hit Taker in the back of the head with a chair and busted him open. Now,
somebody.
We were supposed to hit Kane, because Kane was right next to Taker, and I take one and Bubba takes one. Now, originally I was supposed to hit Taker, and Bubba was gonna hit Kane, but then of course Bubba switched it, came over, and went to go hit Taker. So I hit Kane flush on the back, bam, he goes down. Taker, boom, and Bubba hits him right in the back of the head. And he's bleeding. I remember seeing him on the floor, and Taker's just like, mother, bust me open, damn it. And I went,
match ain't even started yet.
And I'm looking, I go, what's wrong with him? I look at Taylor, what's going on? I know I hit Kane flush on the back. I was like, Bubba wouldn't dare hit him in the back of the head. And so we're fighting up top with Edge and Christian on the top of the ramp, and then all of a sudden we make our way down, and here comes the Hardys. They jump us. They start beating on us. Now here come Taker and Kane. They beat the hell out of the Hardys. The Hardys, get out of the way. They picked up chairs, and Taker goes up, hit me, bust me over with a chair, boom, boom. I go, it wasn't me. It was the fat white one.